Graeme, can you tell us a little bit about you, please, and a little bit about Vargus?
Yep. So my name's Graeme Troughton. I'm the managing director for Vargus in the UK. Vargus manufacture carbide cutting tools in Israel. That's our main production site, and that's where the company was established in 1960. We have subsidiaries across the world, like many of our competitors, and I look after the UK part of that business. Vargus has been going a family business, probably now third generation working within the business since 1960.
And where are you based?
So you can probably tell by the accent, Michael, that I'm from the northeast. But Vargus is in Telford in the Midlands, and that's where our head office is. Where we have stock, we have external and internal sales teams.
Okay, and from there, do you service the whole of the UK? Is that your remit?
Yeah, we service the UK and Ireland, so Southern, Northern Ireland, England, Scotland, and Wales.
Okay, and I briefly looked through your website. To introduce me, by the way, my name's Mychael, as you've just referenced, and I work quite closely with Mychael Richardson at Advanced Cutting ACT Group, and we between us, Mychael and I, try and dig out the stories that are happening every day, and tell the stories basically, and that's why we're chatting today. And thank you for taking the time to do that. I'm going to ask you a question about Vargus, which is it's a little question, but it's a big question. And I'm always curious about this. Why do people choose you and your cutting tools? Why do you think people will go? Because there are bigger companies than you, there are smaller companies than you around the world. Why would someone go, you know what? I choose Graeme's lot. I choose Vargus.
I think if you talk about product-wise first, which is obviously important, but I don't think it's the most important thing, because everybody has good products. But we have good products in the market, and we are globally known as the market, one of the market leaders for threading, so thread turning, thread milling. So we have that brand. We have that brand awareness throughout the world, and people know that they'll get a good solution by selecting our products. But what I would say is many of our competitors also have fantastic products. Where we have an advantage is we probably fill that space first, because we were one of the first developers of the carbide threading product. We've spent a lot of money on having a very successful digital offering, but with any business, I would say in the UK, we're successful. It's because of the people, Michael. We have good people working for us. We're a service-led business, and we try and deliver a good service to our customers. And 20, 30 years ago, if you were a bad salesman but you had a great product, you would do really, really well. But in the last 30 years, the manufacturing process of carbide products, the gap has narrowed that much. Everybody has good products. It's now became more about the people, the service, the digital offer, your support, your pricing, and also your financial stability of your business, because some customers want vending machines and consignment. So we have a good product, but so do our competitors.
And this brings me on to a question, because I'm with you on this, the people aspect. Just a quick question first. How many human beings have you got out there? How many people have you got on the front line? Because you're the MD, you've got quite a broad remit, I would imagine. How many actual people have you got out there in the UK approximately, please?
So in the UK, Michael, we're quite a small business, as in terms of number of staff. So we have 16 staff in the UK. Okay. 9 of which are based at our head office in Telford, from warehouse, logistics, marketing, internal sales staff, financial controllers. And then in the field, we have 6 members of staff. We have a manager who looks after 5 engineers who cover geographical areas. So, a guy for Scotland, a guy for the Midlands, a guy for the Northwest. And that it's a small number in the field. However, we do have a niche product range, so we don't supply all products. We have a range of products that we're focused on, which is threading and grooving products.
In my experience, the more narrowly focused brands are better than a more broadly focused brand. I think people often think, let's speak to loads of people and do loads of things, and then if I want me flipping radiators mending, I want a plumber. I don't want plumber,
Yeah.
joiner, electrician. I want a plumber. You know what I mean? So it's nice, I think, that you focus.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go on. Sorry, Michael. Go on.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask you this because I'm always curious about this. So you're the main chap, it would seem to me, in the United Kingdom. So how do you connect and keep in touch with what's happening on the front line? Because I know that, by the way, you've met Mychael a few times, haven't you? You know Mychael well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go back.
Yeah.
So you and Mychael Richardson know each other quite well. We'll come on to that in a second. How do you, in the day-to-day, in 2021, 2022, how do you personally stay in touch with what's actually happening on the front line?
Yeah, probably because I spend too much time on my phone, Michael. So I look at LinkedIn, I'll look at what the competitors are doing, I'll look what, our business are doing or other brands, and I'll also look at companies in different sectors and see how they're marketing their business and see if there's ideas that we can steal in our industry. I actually speak to our engineers almost every day because I like to keep in contact with the staff and make sure they're all okay on a human level first, but then also like to understand what's going on in the marketplace. So I'm very driven to know what's going on because the only way that you can develop a plan to succeed is if you understand the market yourself.
So you're a good listener to the people on the front line, it would seem to me.
Yeah, I think to be successful, you have to know what's going on in your business, and you also have to draw ideas from your staff because they're the ones at the coalface who understand the challenges. And ultimately, we're a sales business. We're here to sell cutting tools, and the guys on the front line are pivotal, and they understand why we're being successful and ultimately why we're not being successful. Okay,
so you're on that subject. You're correct me if I'm wrong, but Mychael and his team are a channel for you. They're a route to market. Yeah. They are one way of you actually achieving and increasing sales. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship, either personally or as Vargus, with Mychael and the guys and gals at Advanced Cutting Tools?
Yeah. So in terms of Vargus relationship, I think that goes back to the conception or the formation of which was Advanced Cutting Tools, now ACT Group. I think we were one of the first suppliers on board with Mychael, and all of our staff work well with ACT staff. Regular calls, regular visits. They have consignment stock from us, and they use our digital offer, and we tune into what they do. From Graeme Troughton to ACT and Mychael Richardson, my first job in sales was in 2010, where I was actually a competitor to Mychael, but actually on my first day in the job in the field, I contacted one of Mychael's customers, and Mychael gave us a call to introduce himself. I think it was more probably marking his territory back then. But yeah, and then obviously I made a call to ask my boss, who's Mychael Richardson, and I got told the story about ACT. And after that, I worked for a market leader in the industry, in the cutting tool business, and I had a very good partnership with all the staff within ACT, and we developed the sales probably 200, 300, 400% over a 3-4 year period, very successful. And then I guess things changed a little bit, and I became a competitor to Mychael. I set up my own distribution company, and I worked as a competitor to Mychael, which was actually a big insight, because what I didn't realize is probably a lot of the things we took to the market was, and I guess you could say, is the right word copy, but I mean, everybody copies everybody, and you see what people are doing successfully, and you do it, whether that's in your personal or business life. And we took the things that we thought ACT did well, and we went into that and we set the business. But ultimately I sold that business and joined Vargus. And at first I didn't know how the relationship was going to go from competitors to having a working relationship, but I think me and Mychael are both very professional, and we quickly, realised that I was doing my job and, he was doing his job, and now we're working closely again together, and we've just signed an agreement to work together in Northern Ireland in partnership. So, yeah.
I'm working with someone in Northern Ireland. We'll have to have a chat about that afterwards.
So I mean, everything is good with Advanced Cutting Tools and Vargus, and we have a strong relationship.
It's really, I mean, listening to you, something that Michael Richardson and I often talk about is the long-term view, not the short-term view. You know, for me, the short-term view might be just trying to flog whatever you might have too much of to somewhat, you know, a knockdown price. And it's really weird. But the long-term view for me is building relationships, being patient, you know, trying to work out the best thing for the customer's objective rather than flipping what you want to flipping sell them. And that's all the underlying messages that I hear from you, because you and Michael could have gone nose to nose over the years, it seems to me. And just obviously, I think like boxers, they'll have a battle, then another battle, but there's a degree of respect there, isn't there?
Well, of course there is, because look, Michael set a business up, and I think the important word that I would stress is, you know, longevity and experience. So Michael started off as working out the back of his, I think it was his dad's garage, if I remember the story correctly, and obviously developed into the, you know, the biggest distributor in the Northeast. And one time he would have been the small guy trying to punch the bigger guy out, and you know, I was the small guy trying to punch, you know, try to take their business out. So it goes full circle. And I think the important thing is ACT are now, you know, they are the biggest company in the Northeast, and probably there's a lot of other smaller guys trying to take business off them. And Michael's had that experience of being in that position. So you learn how to defend it. You learn what you've got to do differently and how you can progress onto the next step to fend these people off.
Before we started recording our chat, I think Michael won't listen to this, so I can say this. He will listen. I described him as little, was it Captain Caveman, who spins around a lot, that thing? He's not like Captain Caveman in any other way than the fact, for me, he's just constantly on the go. Yeah. And the reason I referenced that, Graeme, was, to me, he's a straight talking guy, because he moves so quickly that if he was making it up as he went along, or if it was bull, it wouldn't work, because he'd trip himself up. So he moves at such a pace and with such vision and precision that he has to be straight. He has to be straight with people, or else he'd just come unstuck. And I like that about Michael, because I've known him on and off, I guess, for 5 to 10 years now. Right, I want to ask you a couple more things and I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, no problem.
So I want to ask you about 2022, because looking back, I don't know that there are any useful, accurate patterns of what on earth's going to happen next, because the world went a bit bonkers, didn't it, for a year or two in 2020-ish, 2021. I want to ask you, if you don't mind, Graeme, can you help me and your market and your customers and ACT Group and everyone, what do you think? Is there anything weird and wonderful going to happen in 2022, or is it business as usual? What's going to happen?
I think from a Vargus standpoint, it's, you know, business as usual. And the biggest thing that we've suffered with in our industry is, and probably most industries, is the field staff have been unable to make visits. So that's where we add value for our, you know, like I said to you earlier, everyone has good products. The values from the people, and the biggest asset that Vargus have is our staff going into businesses and saving their money, you know, going onto their spindles and saying, you know, we can reduce your cycle times, we can reduce your costs, and we've been unable to do that. So from a business point of view, we've lost some of our value in the last year because we haven't been able to offer them service. So what we're really excited about is getting our guys back into companies and doing what they do best. I think it has, the 2022 certainly, or 2021 certainly made me reevaluate how much time we spend visiting customers for, you know, 5-10 minute visits that could have been solved digitally via the likes of Teams and Zoom. And I know that's something that Vargus are looking at a lot, to see if there's some platforms where we can speak to customers without having to drive 100 miles to see them. And then we've all got this thing about, you know, our carbon footprint and our environmental responsibilities. And, you know, is it beneficial sometimes to make these digital transformations within the business? So I think digitally we'll move forward, and, you know, we'll develop better web shops and better, you know, check-in stock apps and things like that. But the most important thing for us is still the customer contact, and we're looking to improve that next year.
It's interesting because I'm hearing the word balance. I don't think anybody knows the balance between the digital connectivity and the physical. It's getting that balance right, and maybe it's slightly different with every relationship. Right. Well, I think I'll leave you alone then.
Good stuff, Michael. Thanks for your time.
Good luck to you and good luck to Newcastle.
Yeah, well, they're going to need it.
All right. Well, thanks a million, Graeme. All the best for you and Vargus, and thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Michael. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.